I'm Autumn Outlaw. I'm here today with Sarah Miller with Isaiah 117 House of McLennan County. Thanks for being here, Sarah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so tell us, what is Isaiah 117 House?
Sure. Isaiah 117 House is a home for children who are awaiting foster placement. So once children are removed from their homes, our local Child Protective Services team actually takes them to their office just here downtown Waco on Austin or Herring Avenue. And there's a waiting period. So many people don't know that children have to wait on a long-term placement, whether that's a foster family or kinship, which means an extended family member is taking them in. And so that waiting period could be a few hours or it could be a few days. And so what we've seen is that children end up sleeping on the floor of an office and they don't have toys or clothes or a bath, and they're often dirty and hungry and they just need to be loved on. And so our home is a place where Child Protective Services can bring children immediately after they're removed. We call that removal day. And so we want to change the way that foster care process begins. We want removal day to become something that is much less traumatic, where children can walk through the doors of the home and feel loved on and cared for, and just that their immediate needs are met, that they can have their favorite snack or play their favorite game and be loved on in that moment.
So the house is actually here just yet. You're in the starting, beginning stages of this whole process.
Right.
Tell us kind of where you are in this and when it started.
Sure. So we just kicked off officially in September of this year, and we are just looking for the community to rally around the effort. These homes are built and established by the communities for the community. And so we are calling on McLennan County to help us make it happen and to really change that experience for the children in our community. And it is happening to those kids that are going to our schools, who are playing on our playgrounds, and the kids who are friends with our kids. And so we really hope that our community just rallies around it and can help us make it a reality.
That's great. And the kickoff, you had a pretty good turnout for that too, didn't you?
Yes, we did. We had about 175 people there, and we were so excited. And we meet monthly, so that meeting is open to the community, and we've seen a really positive response to that as well.
That's great. And what is your role within the organization?
I am the expansion coordinator, so I'm just kind of leading the charge, and I feel really humbled by that. I have been around really wonderful people so far who just have a huge heart for this, and it is an overflow of my heart as well, and so it's exciting to be in community with people who are on board with it as well.
That's wonderful. And so this isn't a new organization. It's new to Waco, but not a new one. Tell us a little bit about the background of kind of where it started and kind of where it is around the United States.
Sure. So it started in East Tennessee with one home that opened in 2018, and it has exploded since. So we're so excited to see that around the country people are realizing this is a need in their own communities. And so they're reaching out and saying, how can we do this here? What does that look like? And so right now there are 29 homes. Wow. 6 homes are open, 4 in Tennessee and 2 in Indiana, and then 23 homes in what we call expansion across the country. They are in Florida, Georgia, Virginia, Texas, Tennessee, Indiana. And so all over the country, people are stepping up, realizing this is a need for the children in our own communities, and this isn't right. We need to do better. And so that is kind of why it's just grown ever since then.
What a great network to be a part of, to see a need and take action and make it happen, make it a reality. That's awesome that you are doing that.
It's really great.
Yeah, so there's also some ways people can get involved. There's a really cool event coming up pretty soon. Tell us about the Dart 'em Up event you'll have.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dart 'em Up is a local business here in the area that provides Nerf play, so Nerf guns sort of situation, and so fun. And they have reached out to us to say, hey, we want you to be a part of this block party that they're having. So it's on Sunday, November 21st from 4 to 6 p.m. And it's at DBAT on Bosque. And so it's open really to the foster and adoption community. So anyone who has fostered or adopted, anyone who's interested in that and wants to learn more, just to come and hang out, and dinner and Nerf play is provided, and we'll be there just sharing about the organization. But we're popping up at different places like that, and really excited that they reached out and asked us to be involved.
Very fun. So Sunday, November 21st.
Yes.
And they can find more information about this where?
So I would reach out directly to Dart 'em Up Waco. They are great. Nora is her name, and so she would be so happy to share more. But at DBAT on November 21st, 4 to 6 p.m.
Great. And then tell us how to find out more about Isaiah 117 House too.
Yeah, we do have a website, Isaiah117house.com. I point people there first because that really tells you a lot about the organization. But for our local home, our Facebook page is the best. So Isaiah 117 House, McLennan County, TX.
Great.
Search that on Facebook, and we'll be posting all the local updates and just telling people how to get involved and what's going on with our local home.
Great. Anything else we need to add?
I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for coming on and talking about it today. We're so glad to have
you.
you. Thanks for what you're doing for our community too.
Thank you so much.
All right. We'll be right back. I'm Autumn Outlaw. Thanks for joining us today. I'm so excited to have Alexis Newman, Superintendent at Rapoport Academy, here with me today. Thanks for being here, Alexis.
Absolutely. Excited to be here.
Yeah. Well, I just want to jump in and tell us a little bit about Rapoport Academy and kind of what makes it unique to other schools in the Waco area.
Sure. So Rapoport is a charter school. We're a second-generation charter school. What that means is the very first year that the state allowed charter schools to be in existence, some planned for a year and some opened up immediately. And so we were a planning year. So our first year open was in 1998. Which means here in just a couple of years, we'll be in there 25 years.
Wow, that's awesome.
So yeah, we're really excited about the anniversary coming up. So basically what a charter school is it's a school that's been blessed by the state of Texas to be able to operate a certain way. Now, more recently, they've created these districts of innovation. So really, any public school in Texas can operate in very similar ways to a charter school. The difference is that we were created with a lab model in mind. So charter schools are intended to be schools of innovation where we try out best practices and we test things and we figure out what's best for students, specifically historically marginalized students. And that's really one of the unique pieces for us is we were able to say, we want to do school this way. So we want to have small class sizes. We want to have small campus sizes. We want to do very engaging instruction. We want our curriculum focused on entrepreneurship and STEM and experiences for students. And so because we were able to create it that way, that is literally in the DNA of the school. Everything that we do is driven towards serving historically marginalized students. It's driven towards an entrepreneurial experience.
And so I know a lot of what you do also has parent involvement. Like you require that parents are involved in the classroom.
Absolutely.
Tell me about how that works exactly with the students in the classrooms and teachers.
Sure. So our parents are naturally a little bit more involved anyway because we don't run a busing system to get to school. So families have to bring their students to school, or like even in my household, we partner with other parents and we carpool and some drop off and some pick up, and that's just the way we have to do to get them here to Rapoport. So they're naturally a little bit more involved. Just because it takes some effort to get here. But more than that, we ask every parent to volunteer an hour in the fall and an hour in the spring for each child. So I have 3 children that attend. I have to volunteer 3 hours in the fall and 3 hours in the spring so that I can make sure and meet those requirements. But it's really more than that. We want to make sure that Rapoport is a place of warmth and comfort and acceptance for all of our families. Not all of our families had great educational experiences. And so we work through a lot of trust issues with really what schools can be, that they can be a place of inspiration, they can be a place of growth and acceptance. And we allow our families to come in at any time, except for COVID. We've had to do some adjustments on that, but we're really excited to start to kind of baby step back into that. We love our parents to come eat breakfast and eat lunch with our kids. We love them to be in the classroom and to walk the halls. We have parent-teacher conferences 4 times a year where you, in order to get your report card, you have to come to campus.
Smart.
And you have to meet with the teachers, and we talk about where the child is and their growths and their strengths and places that we can work together as family home partnerships and with the teacher in the classroom. And so that's 4 times a year. So we want our parents here all the time. That we also do the regular, go to dinner. I'm going to have dinners up at campus or special events or history fairs or things like that. Matter of fact, tonight we've got one of our parent academies where our kids teach our parents.
Oh, how fun.
So the parents come in and they teach them a reading lesson, a science lesson. They talk about comprehension. Usually there's a math component involved. And so we do that in the fall and in the spring at the elementaries especially.
What a way to get the parents involved, and other than just coming and maybe being a class mom, they actually get to learn and watch their kids engage.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
There is no way that students, especially historically marginalized students, can be successful without the full support of their neighborhood. That means in school and at home. It takes a village.
It really does. It takes a village for sure.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, this the model here is unique, but the campus is also really unique. Pulling in, you can tell it's not like any other school out there. If you haven't seen the campus, you at least should drive by.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the landscape here, what this used to be. It's really cool buildings.
Absolutely.
Talk about the history.
Yeah, absolutely. So right here at 1020 Elm, our founder, Dr. Nancy Grayson, actually came over in 2004 and started renovating, just kind of building by building, with the cooperation of the Quinn Campus Incorporated. They actually own the campus. And so what we were able to do is, just building at a time, with a little bit of money and a little bit of fundraising here, we've been able to renovate 7 different buildings here on campus. We've got 2 more on the horizon. Hopefully in the next few months you'll start seeing some action with that one. But what we're doing is breathing back into life to this historical college campus. So this was Paul Quinn College. It was the oldest black college west of the Mississippi. It was started in 1872. Right here. It was one of the few places that students of color could actually be educated at a collegiate level, and one of the first places women could be educated, much less women of color. And so the buildings here were all raised by the church, the American Evangelical Methodist Church. So the money was raised through the churches across the nation. They built the buildings one at a time and educated students here until the early 90s. Then Paul Quinn College moved to South Dallas, where they are flourishing and doing well. And then the campus kind of fell into disrepair a little bit. And then, like I said, Dr. Grayson started coming back in. And now it's just this beautiful campus for kids from 5th through 12th grade. They're moving all about the campus all day. The African American Chamber of Commerce is here. The city has 2 buildings here. The Y was here until recently. The city purchased that building. And so it's just this real community hub right here on Elm Street.
And then you also have other campuses for the kindergarten through 5th grade.
We do. So we have one campus. It was the first building we ever actually built as Rapoport Academy. It's on 2000 J.J. Fluellen. It's right in between some of the largest projects here in town. We want it to be within walking distance. So that's where pre-KK and first grade kiddos go. And then in 2013, we actually renovated an old Hillcrest building and then added on a little bit of a new building. And that's located at 2200 MacArthur. And that's where our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade students go. And if you get a chance to stop by, it has the most amazing multimedia collaborative basement. We call it our STEM basement. But it is art and technology and science and engineering in this big, flowing space. It is amazing.
Oh, wow. Well, I know you focus on labs, so that really is an important part of learning, is to have the labs, and it's kind of based on what y'all
Absolutely.
teach.
Hands-on experience.
And you also have another program, it's the Triple Win, that is lots of labs too.
Yep.
So explain this to me. It sounds so interesting. I love the concept of this.
Sure. So it is this fascinating venture. Again, charters are supposed to be lab schools and innovative. And so Clay Springer, our director of CTE and STEM education across the district, he actually came up with this idea. Following the P-TECH plan, that's Pathways to Technology in Early College High School, following that plan, our students had to have work-based learning experience. And true to Rapoport fashion, we really ramp that up a notch and we say, what's the best thing we can do for students? So Triple Win is really this kind of launch pad where students and entrepreneurs and the educational system can come together in a collaborative nature and can jump in and say, hey, we can have real students work with real entrepreneurs on real projects. So the first project we ever did was with Waco Pedal Tours, where they reverse engineered one of their bikes that had a lot of mechanical issues. While they were fixing that bike, they thought, we could build a better bike. So our students and our staff and the entrepreneurs came together and designed and built a better bike.
Oh, that's awesome.
And now they're on bike 3.
Wow.
Then we started partnering with other companies like Waco Axe Tours, several food truck vendors around town, all sorts of local small entrepreneurs like fire pits and gates and things like that. But the goal in this space is actually to create kind of a maker space where the community can come in and partner. They can buy memberships and work with the tools. Our students can learn, and then our students can essentially be consultants. And then our students can also partner in actual work experiences with entrepreneurs in town. So there's a commercial kitchen that's out there. There's a full metal shop, a full wood shop. There's plastics. There's potentially going to be pottery even in that space. And then there's labs that are business labs where you can rent that space out. So if I wanted to build, maybe I'm just a community member and I wanted to build my own fire pit, I could actually go in, I could work with a student who's got all the skills and expertise. They can weld, they can do the design, they can do all of that. They can actually teach me, I can partner with them, and I can build this project together. Or maybe I'm a budding entrepreneur and I want to do signs, or I want to do mechanical equipment. I can actually come into this space, feed into the future of children, then they can help me in my business as well. So it's this hands-on lab space, really creative, triple win.
Right, all three parts.
Space.
That's awesome. And it's something that they feel so accomplished, I'm sure. They can see the finished product. They see the pedal tours riding around town like, I built that. I was a part of that. And
we were talking with a professor over at Baylor the other day, and he said one of the number one reasons why entrepreneurs succeed is because they have high quality mentors. They also have to have grit and resilience, where our kiddos normally have that anyway because of their life and the experiences they've had. So we've got two of the components. Now we just need to partner them with mentors. And so this really is that space where we can be very intentional about having successful people, or even people who are trying to be successful, pour back into the life of kiddos.
That's great. Do you have any upcoming events, anything that you want people to know about to maybe draw them to campus? I know with COVID, things have been hard for everyone.
They have. Normally, we're very open. So normally we're just hey, pop in and we'll give you a tour kind of a campus. We're working on some virtual tours. You can actually go to our website. It's where you can find out how to enroll in Rapoport Academy. It's free. It's public, just in case you didn't know.
That's a good point.
So you can find it right there on our website. So we're looking at virtual tours. We also have a lot of things like the HBCU Job Fair, the Historical Black Colleges and University Job Fair. We've put that on for several years now. Prosper Waco is partnering with us this year to be able to make sure we can continue to bring that to the Waco area. We also have all sorts of sporting events. Volleyball season is wrapping up. Basketball season is coming up. It's a little bit different in true fashion this year. With the city purchasing the YMCA, they're going to be doing some upgrades. And so we've taken on this road warrior mentality. So all of our basketball games are going to be away games this year, but we're loading up buses potentially, and we're driving to different places around the area, around our district. But normally we would have basketball and cross country and track and volleyball here. We try to keep our website up. If you're not following us on social media, you should.
Do it. It's great. They post it almost every day. It's really, really cute.
Yeah, so we have an Instagram, and we have a Twitter, and we have a Facebook page for our campuses and for our district. So if you haven't followed us, be sure to check in there.
Awesome. Well, you definitely have a passion for Rapoport Academy, and you've been here for a long time, but I could ask you a million more questions. I want to make sure people know where to find more information if they want to find out how to enroll or how they can support Rapoport Academy.
Absolutely. So it's our website is www.rapoportacademy.org. So it's .org at the end of that. But you can find out anything there. You can email me directly. My email is on that website. You can reach out to any campus staff. Our main number is 254-754-8000, and that reaches any campus. So you can connect with us any way you can. You can stop by. You can drop off food. You can love on our teachers. You can do all sorts of things.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. We'll be right back. Thanks. So glad you're joining us. Today my guest is Jimmy Bennett with JMB Fishing Foundation. And this is a really unique organization where I'm really proud to have this in the Waco area. So Jimmy, tell us a little bit about JMB Fishing Foundation.
Well, the JMB Fishing Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit foundation. We are registered and recognized federally with IRS. We get the special opportunity to take children with terminal diseases. We take children with special abilities. We take disabled veterans. We work with them, take them on hunting and fishing trips, send them on dream vacations, maybe just a day at the beach. We have been known to send a child or two to the races and put them in a race car.
Oh wow, so it's not just fishing.
It is not only fishing. It began as fishing, but it has grown considerably.
So how did it start? Tell us a little bit about how this foundation began.
Really unique story. I was a fishing guide. I worked in the oil fields in South Texas. I would work 14 days, and when I would come home 14 days, I would take people fishing. It was November of 2017. It was a cold winter. It was rainy, and I was on my 10th day. It had been a busy day, a busy week. I was struggling at work. It was cold, nasty, rainy weather. About 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I called my wife on my way in, and I was telling her how bad a day I'd had. And she stopped me. She said, "Hey, do you know Layla Evans?" I said, "No, I don't know Layla. But my slicker's got a hole in it and my feet are wet and I'm not happy." It's been a rough day. She said, "Well, her and her twin sister Rayleigh play under the bleachers with our children." I said, "Okay, but did you hear me how uncomfortable I am?" And she said, "Well, Layla has DIPG." And I said, "Well, that's okay. But I've had a terrible day." I didn't know what DIPG was. She says, "Layla has 9 to 12 months to live. And I'm upset because my feet are wet." So I've been gifted with a lot of talents, and I can do too much to do nothing. So then we decided to put something together. JMB Fishing became JMB Fishing Foundation. We fast forward to June of 2018, and I have 2 children in my boat with terminal illnesses. And I'm a fisherman. I want to catch fish, bigger fish, more fish. And I'm focusing on these kids catching fish. They're driving the boat, the wind is blowing through their hair, they're having so much fun, laughing and having a blast. Yes, they're having so much fun. And one grabbed me by the leg and she looks up and says, "This is the best day ever. Can you help me to not die?"
Oh, goodness.
I'm worried about catching fish. I'm working on catching bigger fish, and she's working on living.
Yeah. Puts things in perspective for sure.
There's no question, it does.
How precious. And Layla was a very special girl.
She is a very special girl, yes.
So with the foundation starting, like you said, there's other things other than just fishing. So you travel all over to be able to give people experiences in hunting, fishing, race car driving. How are you able to find these different venues and be able to coordinate all of this?
You know, I think when you have a pure heart, when you work with the community, when you belong to a family of special people, people find you. So we work from South Texas to Wisconsin and all points in between. And it's not just fishing. We go on hunting trips. Keegan Roberts, a beautiful little girl, she gained her wings. We lost her Memorial Day. Her dream trip was to go to the Atlanta Aquarium. Now, Keegan could not fly. She couldn't handle the pressure changes due to the port in her chest. So we got Kid Rock's tour bus, came to Waco,
Oh, wow.
picked Keegan up and her entire family, and we sent Keegan to Atlanta, Georgia, to the Georgia Aquarium. That was her dream trip.
Wow. So how do you, people just are drawn to you. Like, how do you find these kids and these families who are looking for these experiences? Do you, social media, website, people just know, hey, Jimmy's the guy to call. He can make things happen.
Yes.
What kind of prompts this?
Yes, all of the above. So we have a website, jmbfishing.org. We have a Facebook page, JMB Fishing Foundation. JMB actually began with my wife and I, Jimmy and Miranda Bennett.
Okay.
Since we've grown, we have a president, Courtney Hobgood. We have a vice president, Stephanie Aldridge. My wife is a treasurer. David Polk is a secretary. We're a group of people that take what we've been given and we give back.
That's incredible. So tell me a little bit about some of the trips you've done recently. And when I called to set this up, this weekend you were out of town. Tell me a little bit about the last trip you went on, or one that really stands out in your mind, a really great trip.
It's difficult to pick one trip. The most recent trip, Brendan Hemphill from Kansas City, Kansas. At 5 years old, he was diagnosed with a brain tumor. His dad was a carpenter, fell off a roof, broke his back, unable to work. We find out Brendan has brain cancer. The doctors say, since you have no insurance and since you have no money, take your son home with a 2% chance to survive. The nurses at the hospital called the family and said to get this boy to St. Jude's right away. The nurses pray over Brendan. The doctor removes Brendan's skull cap, and Brendan's tumor falls out onto the operating room floor. It released from his brain.
Wow.
So Brendan wants to go on a hunt. Brendan loves race cars. How can we join those two together? We know a lot of people. So many people want to get involved. They want to give back. They want to help. They just don't know how. I've called a couple of friends that are sheriffs. They say, get this boy to Mills County Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Hammonds deputizes Brendan.
Oh, wow.
Game warden there in town makes Brendan an honorary game warden. Tommy and Lana Honey with Honey's Roofing here in Waco reach out and said, let's give this boy a ram hunt. Brendan gets to harvest a ram. Selby Holder at the Heart of Texas Speedway says, get Brendan to this racetrack. Let's put him in a race car.
Wow.
Now, 2 special events at the racetrack. Chris Rash is a special needs boy. He turned 35 years old today.
Aww.
He loves race cars. He came out. So Billy Best brought his 2-seater race car out, took Chris out, took Brendan out. We had a great time.
Let them really enjoy the
They
day.
had a great time.
You're really, truly an angel for these families, it seems like. I mean, you're able to connect the dots, find the joy and connect them to the joy. So you're really doing some wonderful things. Is there anything else that you want to tell us about the foundation, or anything that you can think of that people would like to know more about?
You know, I'd love for you to visit our website at jmbfishing.org. Find a way to get plugged in. It takes so many people to make all this happen. We don't have sponsors. We don't have regular donors. So much of this money comes out of our pocket. But people do step up, and we always find a way to make it happen. We go to Missouri. We leave this afternoon with 13 families. We will meet up with about 20 more families in Missouri for an annual youth deer hunt. The next weekend, we've got more families come down on Lake Whitney. We have a foster and adoptive children fishing trip. Veterans Day, we have a veterans hunt and a veterans fishing trip. The following weekend, we'll have 100 people at a ranch in Meridian. We are so active. You know, it all started with cancer. And cancer is not rare, it's just rarely talked about. People don't realize how many children suffer with this terrible disease. And you know, only 4% of all cancer research funding goes to pediatric cancer. Only 4%. I think our children deserve more than 4%.
So the events that are coming up, if people want to either be involved or attend,
Sure.
just reach out to you through the website. Is that
Reach
the
out
best
to
way?
reach out to us. Yes, reach out to us through our website. Reach out to us through Facebook. Call me on my cell phone, 254-716-9145. Find a way to get plugged in. You know, these families say that we bless them when we host events for them, but they've got it all wrong. Through these events, we find that we are the ones that are blessed. The volunteers are the ones that are blessed. Just being plugged in, it opens up more doors than you can ever imagine.
That's very touching. What you're doing is wonderful work, and there are so many people in our community, and it sounds like all around the country truly that are benefiting from what you're doing. So keep it up. Hopefully people will go to the website and see how they can be involved and they can contribute to this. So Jimmy, thank you so much for coming here to talk with us today, and continue what you're doing. You're doing great. It's awesome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. All right, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time.